doesn't matter. Whatever. This type of food poisoning made me shit for 3 days.
Your whole hockey team watched the OC.
Yeah. Just boys being boys, baby.
Hello, everybody. We're so excited to be here on the 100,000th episode of Friendship Hour, or so it feels.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Everybody doing all right, huh?
They can't answer back. I don't know if you figured out the podcast thing yet, Jason.
What are you talking about? Every week I hear individual voices, and they increase every week.
'Cause I'm free balling.
Yeah, Oren, before the episode started, I was just talking about how he had to readjust his package.
I am not wearing underwear, and
gross.
they're all over the place. It's really crazy. I think I feel one behind my knee. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
But
I never wear underwear. I wear swim trunks everywhere because you never can be too careful, you know?
yeah.
You get pants. I get pants once at 14, and I know what's coming. You know, I'm always prepared.
So how's your life?
It's I don't know, man. My stomach's been hurting. I'm becoming more and more Jewy every day. You know, I can't have. I've had too many onions. I've had too many onions in the past couple weeks, and now my stomach's expanding.
The amount of Jewish clientele that I've seen at the restaurant who are like, I'm allergic to garlic. It's like, no, you're not. You just have a shitty stomach, and you're fucking annoying.
I looked it up because I think I was eating too many onions, and I need to lay off it. And some people have to go on low FODMAP diets, which is like all onions and garlic and like leek and all that shit, because it just like expands in their bellies. And I can't. I go to the doctor. The doctor says nothing's wrong with me, but obviously something's wrong with me because I'm bloated. I look like an orphan over here.
You take just a giant bite of it like it's an apple. You're like, yeah.
I've been eating shallots by the bushel.
Well, I mean, you do like to pride yourself on your caramelized onions, so I imagine that's...
Not anymore, dude. I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done for a little while.
Dude, when did you get so old? 8 o'clock is too late to do a fucking podcast. I can't eat onions past noon. Like, who are you?
I've been so tired recently.
That's called depression, buddy.
No, it's not. It's my stomach, and I haven't been able to do my workouts, and I'm getting back into it, baby.
That's called denial, buddy.
Nah. No, I do. You know what though? I might have a touch of the seasonal depression. You know.
Dude, I was thinking that when I get to, no one cares about your seasonal depression. We're men. We don't talk about those things, okay? Suck it up.
Okay.
Do you think that when I get there, because they don't know me at all at this shoot for this commercial, they're gonna be
Stop bragging about your commercial, bitch.
Or how about it's the only thing happening in life, and I talk about the one thing happening in my life, and you're like, okay, all
right, it makes the big shot.
Do you think they're gonna be like, we need to wax your arms right now, or they're just gonna not allow me to use my hands in any shot because they're gonna be so distracted by
They're
them?
not gonna zoom in on your hands. They're gonna have a hand backup for you.
It is alarming. I feel like when you see it, you're just like, what is that? Like, what is on his hand?
That's not allowed on TV or on the internet. Like if someone wants to watch that commercial, they'll have to click a parental consent advisory thing.
I think I'm gonna wax my knuckles before.
You're gonna wax your knuckles? That's the only thing about your hand that looks bare is your knuckles. What are you talking about?
No, like the pre-knuckle there.
Okay, the second knuckle. No one has hair on except for you. I've got like little,
Yeah.
Like I've got like, your second knuckle is like a hobbit foot version of a knuckle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I often think about the idea that if I've never trimmed like my hand hair, also who has hand hair, but if I ever trimmed it, it would be wrapped around my entire hand. I'd be immobilized by it. It's like those beavers whose the teeth, they keep on growing and then they curve into the bottom of their chin and then dig into their chin. That's like what my hair pretty much, well, it is what my hair did to my fucking ass fucking in my 30s, actually, when you think about it. It curled inwards and regrew into my spine.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened to that episode, go find the earlier ones.
Go find it.
Go find it. We talked about his ass debris, the surgery that changed Oren's life. Well, the other surgery that changed Oren's
Yeah,
life.
exactly. The first one was Jason's when he switched over for me. That was very kind of
What
you.
the fuck? How that happened?
When I was like, when we went to the office, to the doctor's office a few months later, I was like, can we make it tighter?
Changed his life.
Just a smidgen tighter.
Yeah. Okay. So you're worried that they're gonna shave your or have like.
No,
I don't know,
they're just
put
that they're
some
going to be in
dainty white-
shock. Because first of all, my face issue. It's been good for the past 2-3 months, and now obviously it's starting to act up right now. So when
Yeah, because you're nervous about it. You're nervous that your face is gonna break out, so it's breaking out for the big big screen.
So I'm gonna get there, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, why is his whole face red, and why is he so hairy?" And no one told us that we were getting such a Jewy
Jew.
specimen.
Hey, this is the only show business, Quebec show business, is the only show business that's not run by Jews. Don't let him in.
If I write the character as super Jewish, do you think they'll be like, weird? Like he's holding a menorah, and he's like,
It's like, I actually prefer this to wires. I prefer to light 8 candles every time I need to install something.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. I gotta have to drive all the way to Saint Pie, which is where?
That's not a real place, dude. St. Pie.
I hope it is a fake. It's a fake thing where they're just trying
Yeah,
to kidnap me.
okay. And I've got an appointment in St. Peach Cobbler. Suck my ass, all right?
Yeah, so I'm going to Saint Creme Brulee, and
Right, yeah.
I am not. I'm supposed to get a compensation per kilometer, so I better get that shit. I'm gonna have my calculator out.
Yeah, that's all right. Click that little trip button on your car, on your nice little, on your German vehicle.
Mm-hmm. And
Oren drives a luxury German vehicle with all the money we've made from the podcast.
that's right. You better bet. You best believe.
Yeah.
And that's coming up next week, and that's the only thing in my life that has a variable in it right now.
And that's 6 minutes of the podcast, so we're doing all right. No, I don't know. I went to the dentist that your girlfriend recommended.
Oh, you went.
Yeah, my girlfriend went,
Yes.
and then the next day I had my appointment.
Right. And drum roll, please.
So your girlfriend loves them, right?
She more enjoyed the place and
Okay.
the experience more than her average dentist visit than I think
Right.
the dentist himself.
That I would agree with, because I was under the impression that she loved him, and my girlfriend called him a little bit creepy.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. And I am here to say that I don't think he's creepy. I just think he is autistic for teeth.
I like it.
I think he did not break eye contact once with me when we were going through, like, after the dental, like, checkup and cleaning or whatever. He just eye to eye for 9 minutes as he explained to me.
Fucking
he
women.
loves
Fucking
teeth.
women. He made eye contact with me. He's creepy. He wouldn't stop looking at my eyes.
But you have to remember that this is probably the only person besides me that she's talked to in the last month and a half, right?
Well, even before
In
that,
person.
because of your rules, right?
Yes, my rules. Yeah, that's why I insisted on having 2 levels in this place that we got, because I can sequester her to the balcony like Rapunzel.
Yeah, she's been growing her hair lately. I did notice. Yeah.
The payas or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He was fine. He was nice, but definitely like likes teeth the way that like an 8-year-old autistic kid likes a train set. You know what I mean? Like very into them. Which I guess what else are you gonna do if you're gonna be a dentist? You might as well love teeth if you're gonna become a dentist, right?
No, I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like that's kind of what I want. I mean, I don't want to be like an 8-year-old to anything, But I don't mind the idea that he's obsessed with teeth and it's the only thing. But I think he would hate me. He'd be like, "What have you done to my favorite thing? You beautiful bones, your beautiful bones."
What I did was I reached back I got a wisdom tooth and I just was like, keep the teeth.
Keep the, I like that.
Keep the teeth, dentist. Yeah,
he probably has like a weird kink where he dresses up like the Tooth Fairy.
Every night.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way he can get a hard on is if he's got like a wand with a star at the end of it, and he's like, and he needs to have like a $5 in exchange for a tooth.
I imagine him having the the True Detective season 1 Matthew McConaughey mirror that's just the size of his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but for every single one of his teeth. He's got 32 mirrors in his bathroom.
And so, what did you get done? The good old cleaning. You got
There was like about a 4-year period of my life where I didn't have dental insurance, so I didn't go for 4 years. And then last year was the first time I went, and I had like a few cavities on the old molars, especially the wisdom teeth. And apparently I have another cavity on another wisdom tooth or molar or whatever the fuck, so I gotta go back and get that filled out.
Yeah.
You gotta fill me in,
He's gonna be like, when he looks at me, he's like, "We do not have enough filling for your teeth. Your teeth look like Montreal roads. What the fuck is going on with your mouth?" You know what's really funny is how hacky that felt when I said like Montreal roads. Because even though it's a great description,
of course,
it just cannot. Like, I'm so sick of fucking hearing it because of comedy.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing it.
Every comedian who comes through town from out of town is like, "Wait, nice city you got here. When's it gonna be done?
When's it gonna be done?" Fucking.
I don't know. When you guys finished? Rue Barré. Every street's called Rue Barré in this city, huh?
My God.
Blocked road.
That's actually someone we know's go-to.
Yeah, and I've heard it from other people too. So.
Of course, because it sucks and it's obvious and it's right there. It's right there. That's why I had. I was trying to think of like.
Wait, are you thinking about the same guy as I'm thinking of? The guy who also had the Instagram pot delivery service joke.
No.
Okay, because that is a 1-2 combination of two of the worst jokes I've ever heard
that
in my life.
that one is really bad too.
Yeah. Because he does not do comedy in this city. Well, no one does comedy in this city anymore. But he's no longer in this city. The person I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Anyways,
same. So, what else, man? So I want to ask you. With the dentist. So, he's a bit like weird, right?
Yes,
but he's got good digs, right? That's what I heard. He's got nice digs.
Yeah, I mean he's in my old neighborhood.
The gay village.
He's in the old train track neighborhood, the hobo village,
right?
Point St. Charles.
Okay.
Which was nice to go see, go look at. I drove by the old gas station where I used to fill up my gas, shed a tear.
That's what you told her? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just filling up the gas. I'm pretty sure we were full. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a nice little office, and they made me rinse my mouth and were like, it's an anti-COVID mouth rinse wash thing. And I was like, if you have this technology, why isn't everybody using? What are you talking about?
Using it.
It's just Listerine, you idiot.
Yeah, I like that.
It's with fluoride, I guess. I don't know. Anti-COVID fucking mouthwash.
I love that.
Yeah, because I was allowed to take off my mask as soon as I stepped into the the chair room.
I mean, that makes sense because they're like, what are we going to pretend at this point that we're not?
Yeah.
that's doing anything.
A mask with a hole in it.
The only place where if things feel normal probably right now is a dentist.
Yeah, the dentist.
Because those masks just make sense. You're like, finally a place where the masks make sense. I was watching a movie a little while ago where they showed a character wearing, like an American character wearing a mask in an airport to kind of show how crazy they are, how over the top crazy, and you're like,
in Asia?
No, not in Asia. Just like coming home or something,
Oh.
And he's like just driving.
Oh, what movie did you watch?
It's funny. I was trying to remember because it was kind of.
Because I think I watched it too. I took a screenshot of it and I was gonna write something about it on Twitter. Then I forgot. Fuck.
What movie could it have been? I don't know.
I forget now.
I did watch a comedy, which I haven't seen like a fucking flat out slapstick comedy in a long time, and I watched.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched, and the last one I really remember that I loved. There's two. Is MacGruber, which I fucking think is very funny. And
one of the best.
There's the Lonely Island one.
Oh, Never Stop Stopping.
Never Stopping. I think that's the one, right?
Yeah, Never Stop, whatever it's called. That's a great movie, too.
Yeah,
it's really funny.
So
actually.
those are like the two that I can think of that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But this one was with Kristen Wiig. I always forget.
Okay.
Is it Kristen, right?
I think
Probably?
it's Kirsten Wiig. I don't know.
You think it's Kirsten?
Yeah, it sounds more Swedish or whatever the fuck she is. She's got 2 Y's in her last name, right?
Yeah.
Or at least an umlaut.
Wiig. Yeah, so she has a movie called Barb and Star Go to Vesta del Rey, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it has a lot of fun moments. It has a lot of not hit moments. I'll tell you what doesn't hit the most is the one guy who I find so unfunny forever is the Wayans brother who shows up.
Which one?
Dave. There's so many, dude. First of all,
I know, but the one from New Girl and like Happy Endings.
Yeah, that's the one.
I like him. I don't know.
You know what? I think I do. He's okay in that New Girl. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
He was okay,
And,
but he was so bad in this, man. It's not his fault. Maybe the jokes just were so badly written for him.
You know what it is? It's women taking it back to the men and giving the guys the shitty end of the script.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, that's good.
You get this shitty fucking lines, huh?
It could possibly it. And I read that like there's a lot of random musical numbers in it, and it's really like over the top. It's got like Austin Powers vibes almost.
Okay.
But I read that originally Bridesmaids was supposed to be like that. I think someone was just like,
With
look,
musicals?
it was supposed to have musical numbers in it and stuff like that.
I've only seen that once, and I know it's my girlfriend's like favorite comedy of the last little while. So I'd have to.
For me too. If you take away the slapstick comedies, that and Hangover, the first Hangover.
Really?
Yeah. Very. Very
I guess this is gonna become a movie review podcast for the next 5 to 10 minutes. A movie that had no right to be as good as it was Game Night.
I heard that before I saw it, and that was the problem probably with it.
Okay.
Is that someone
I was
told
expecting nothing, and it was pretty good. And it was directed by like a person I would never have expected to be a director or whatever. You remember Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
The little kid in Freaks and Geeks, like the little brother.
Yeah.
Who was also like the guy in Waiting who had 0 lines except for at the end when he told everybody to fuck themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the director, I think, or the writer of Game Night and like a bunch of comedies.
Fucking loved Freaks and Geeks when I was a kid. I'm like,
yeah, that was the best.
So another movie that was much like Horrible Bosses was a movie that was much better than I thought it should be.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the same vein as Game Night.
That's when I slowly started liking what's his face, Michael. What's his name? Not Michael.
Bublé.
Yeah, Michael Bublé. No, what's the guy's name?
Charlie Kelly.
Ozark.
Charlie Day.
Ozark.
Oh, Jason Bateman.
Yeah, Jason Bateman. I started liking him just because also I kind of like that awful movie with him and Ryan, the Freaky Friday one with him and Ryan Reynolds where they switch bodies. It's funny.
I haven't seen that.
It's actually funnier than it should be. Like you think it'd be the worst movie ever, and then you're still kind of laughing. But I think I'm a bit sick of fucking Ryan Reynolds. No offense to him. I wish.
Yeah, I don't
wasn't.
like him. I don't like him. And I watched a movie with his wife that was horrible. I forget what it's called. It's a movie where like his wife is a fucking like killer and like frames her own death and fucking. All I remember from the movie is that they had a product placement for Ryan Reynolds tequila or gin or whatever the fuck he has, aviation gin. Mm-hmm. I think it's so they had product placement for her husband in the movie.
Why don't we have product placement, Jason?
What are you talking about? This show's brought to you by my dog's pussy.
God, why do you have to say it?
If you're not watching on YouTube, my background is my dog's pussy.
Why do you gotta say it like that? I think we can be like sponsored by just things that we normally use, like right. I could use, like Magnum condoms. I could do, like things that I normally have at home that they wouldn't even have to ship me. Just things that I.
Oren's regular pharmacy order, which is Magnum condoms and antihistamines.
Yeah, exactly. I keep them in the Magnum condoms because they don't get wet or spoiled.
Because my dick sneezes so much. You know what I was thinking about? Just to do a hack comedy 101.
Yeah.
Year 1 comedy premise. Nothing to sneeze at. What's that about, huh? Who's sneezing at stuff, huh? Who's looking at stuff and sneezing at stuff that they don't agree with or don't or take for granted, huh? Who's sneezing?
Who's that in control of their sneezes too? Who can sneeze on command?
Right. Nothing to sneeze at. What is that, huh?
Like,
who's going at you, huh? Who's looking at stuff and going at you at it, huh?
There's a lot of stupid ones like that make no sense. There was another one I was thinking about recently, but obviously I don't prepare for this podcast.
You can't remember it,
so I don't have it prepared. Something in regard to something. Okay.
Yeah,
good
that's
job,
cool,
Oren.
man.
Good
That's
job,
a good
Oren.
one. Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Because
I saw this video on Facebook today, and it's like this woman with her child, like 8-year-old child, dangling from a fucking a chairlift.
Okay.
And
the Michael Jackson.
It's like 20 feet, like way too. It's like way too high,
Yeah. And toddlers only bounce until it was 8 years old. Toddlers only bounce up until 12 feet.
Yeah.
and just like flubber.
Yeah, exactly. So
And then you're fucked.
good. Thank God. I was nervous about having a child. Now I feel more safe.
Yeah. You can. They have the same bounce as regulation basketball.
Thank the Lord. A nice hard skull. I appreciate that.
Just dunk your child.
So in the video, then like a bunch of people grab this tarp thing that has these handles, and they're like holding it out, and they're like, "Drop her, it's gonna be okay," because this woman, the mother, can't hold on anymore. And I'm also like, I read the article, and it says the mother was like, right when we got on, she didn't get on properly, so I was holding her up, and it's like, you drop her right away, then, like what was your plan? That like the higher you go, the more you'll be able to.
Was it a Ferris wheel or a roller coaster?
No, chairlift.
Oh, sorry, chairlift.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, like when you start, you'd start on the ground. So if she wasn't on properly, right when you were about 3 feet high, just let her go there,
Yeah, and go get her later, like, like whatever, like something you leave at the grocery store when you're like making a decision between two things. You leave something, you're like, you know what, I'll go get it. And you go back to the aisle and you get it again.
Yeah, exactly. Just like make a visual marker of where she is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? See, like, okay, there's a bunch of trees there, so she's in the tree area.
She's by the trees.
She's by the trees. Yeah.
In all of the ski resorts, she's by the trees.
What you do is you look for a skier that's in the area that's coming down. You're like, okay, so I'll look for that skier, so that way that was in that area, right? So she didn't do that. She was like, I'll carry her the entire mountain because I'm super mother, but that didn't happen.
Yes.
So eventually they stopped it, and these people are holding it, and you're watching this video on Facebook, right? So you're like, the ending is going to be okay, but it's
going to be fine.
Yeah. You just want to see what the process is. Like everyone's freaking out. And so they're stopping people, and they're like, come on, can you hold on? And so like finally get this tarp, and like she's like, I can't hold anymore. They're like, it's okay, drop her. But she's still wearing her skis, this girl, like hanging on like that. They drop her. Dude, these people suck. They're not holding the tarp at all. She just fucking hits the ground.
Oh, no.
She just hits the ground, and then the video stops, and it says, like, she's okay in the video. It says something like that. I'm like, who posted this? What kind of psychos? You hope you're watching a video that's going to start your day on a bright spot and not show you how this little girl's life turned into my left foot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that.
Just her shins impacted into her knees, and she's like Cotton Hill from King of the Hill, just walking on nubs at the end of her knees.
Dude, it was really disturbing. So as my morning started, I was just like, okay,
Fuck.
so did I, and then you have to make sure she didn't die, because you just need to know in your head that she's not like, you know what I mean? I didn't just watch a video of someone dying.
You're watching you don't want to see an 8-year-old die first thing in the morning,
No, that's more of an afternoon thing.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
And then what are you supposed to do with your erection all day, You're supposed to be...
Hey, no, none of that. None of that.
Put it away, Jason.
What the fuck?
Put it away.
I was just going to say before that, because I sometimes go through old, like, year 1, 2, 3 comedy notes, for the podcast.
Sure.
Just to see it's insane how many more thoughts I used to have.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like... I know it's because I was excited to go perform and shit, but like I really just am not writing anything down anymore. There's like literally nothing's happening.
Well, because also there's like no reason there's no way to just test garbage, So if you had a place to test garbage, you could be like, well, it's worth writing that down and saying it once, and then you say it. And,
yeah.
But now there never will be an opportunity to say these things again.
But boy, was there a lot of garbage.
Okay, give me some. Shoot some premises. Let's write some jokes live on the pod.
Oh, this is not really. This is like just something I truly believe in my heart, and like I find myself like writing this down every like 6 months to a year, in a notebook somewhere. Just the idea that like if you die riding a bicycle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
What were you saying?
No, go ahead. They'll hear it. It's fine.
Just if you, I didn't hear it, so whatever. If you die riding a bicycle, like you are remembered as a cyclist. You know what I mean? Like you're like forever immortalized as a cyclist. It doesn't matter if it's your first time riding a bike since you're 12 years old. If you get hit by a fucking dump truck as you leave, you exit your street, you take a couple little spins around the block and you get hit by a fucking dump, you're done. Your forever cyclist loses life. There's going to be a ghost bike a white painted bike at the corner of your street.
That would
with
make me laugh
flowers and
so
shit.
hard if I died on like the one bike ride I went and it said cyclist. I have like a few friends that bike every day and trying to get me to bike so much. It'd be so funny if I died on a one bike and I died as the cyclist in the group. You know, they're like
Exactly. And that's it. So it's not only just about me not wanting to identify as a cyclist. It's also like your cyclist friends who are like, hey, what the fuck, man? He was a fucking amateur.
Yeah. He was on a Bixie.
It's like if someone like their first open mic has a heart attack on stage and it's like, well, he died doing what he loved, you know?
Oh, I hate that.
He died for the art of comedy.
Did you ever see that clip of the guy who actually died on stage?
No, there's like 3 or 4 of them. I've never seen any of them.
Yeah,
There are
probably
seriously 3 or 4.
Which is for some reason.
There's one guy whose I think son is like a famous movie director or something now, whose father died on stage. I forget who it is. And there's a British guy that it happened last year.
British
Yeah, dude. That's them.
marmalade. Is that them?
Yeah. What one British saying that I don't get is instead of saying like early on, you know, like we're early in the show, they'll be like, I know it's early doors now, but yeah.
You do a good British.
What are you talking about?
You know what I love? Every guy I work with a UK guy, and he always goes, "If you fancy that," and I'm like, "Oh, I fancy it so much. It's so fancy, and I fancy it, and fancy."
Fancy you.
Man, I just like to. I can live out my my homosexual talk with him. I can say things like fancy and stuff, and just like brilliant. You're brilliant and fancy.
Yeah, brilliant.
You're such a fancy, brilliant man.
She has a fancy fanny.
Yeah. It's so great. It's good times, man. Their language is so much more. It's very.
It is nice.
It's whimsical.
It is. It's nice to hear. I'd like to. I don't know. It was fun to spend a month in Scotland. I'd like to go to fucking London once. I don't know. Hit up some open mics, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Now, what's the deal with Cheerios? It's a breakfast cereal, but it's also how you say hello. What's that about then?
What do they call them in America? Hellos.
No, what you say in America? What you say? Oh, Frosted Flakes to you, do you? Huh? Top of the flake to you?
Yeah.
That's hell yeah, top of the flake.
What are they?
No, that's just your scalp, you dry bitch, huh?
You dry bitch. I'm sorry, that was to my ex-girlfriend.
That's your. I was gonna say.
And that's probably my fault. The first part of it. The first part.
Yeah.
Of her name.
And also the second part. You probably drove her up the fucking wall, you know.
Are you kidding me? I am so much goddamn fun. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel, you know, like I feel for anyone who no longer has me in their life, and because that must be a real shock to go from pure laughing and just in awe of the
Right.
you know, and then to go to just some boring person who's just like, did you put the spoons away? You know, and then you're like, yeah, I put the spoons away. You know, like that's your life now. And it used to be so much just full of, you know, energy and fun and you know, other things.
Carefree whimsy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carefree whimsy. That's me. That's how people know me.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna go down in my new resume when I have. Dude, do you realize? Talking about showing off, I'm gonna have writing credits now, like actual, like I have writing credits.
Well, so do I, you bitch. If you use any of my lines.
That's true. I'll be like,
and our friend Harrison, who also helped to write for this. I can't believe they fucking just gave you a French script and we're like, yeah, you're acting in it, and also translate this and make it funny for Anglophones. What a fucking concept!
I know.
I don't
it's
get
really insane how they have no budget.
It's insane.
They're just like
it's
shitting this
no
out.
budget. It's you control the whole province. It's the biggest company in the province. What are you doing?
And so I also got this. This is how low their budget is, right? I got a message today saying that, by the way, because there's a scene with a hot tub, and they're like, the hot tub scene, we'll be filming outside. Do you have long johns and snow pants? We want to make sure you're comfortable.
And what was the point of asking you for your pants size if they're not going to fit you with snow pants? They're going to give you regular pants to put on top of the long johns that you're bringing and snow pants to put on. Okay.
Something just tells me it's going to take forever. I'm going to end up driving home like through curfew. I'm going to get a ticket or something. Like something crazy.
Yeah, you better get a letter or some shit.
Something's going to happen. Like I'm just going to get completely screwed with this whole thing.
You're going to get a ticket for the amount of money that you're going to get paid to do. That's how
The
much the
exact
ticket is.
amount.
I think it's around that much.
Yeah, plus $1, like and $1 extra to the T. You know?
Yeah. You'll just the only profit you'll make is whatever gas they're paying for.
Yeah. So whatever.
Why do you have to go to the fucking Saint Pie?
Because I have no idea. It's gonna be like, I don't know, like what? How? This whole thing has just been like, okay, like
Yeah, I
I'm
guess.
Just,
Yeah.
Every day, the next day, I'm like, okay, And at this point, I really don't even really have much written down. I have to hunker down tonight, write, maybe send it by you and because I could also use your help in like the actual text blocks, and like what he says at the end to actually like.
The narrator part?
Yeah, the narrator part. I'm going to try to do it tonight anyways.
Okay. Well, let's not talk about it too much because I feel like people don't know. It's hard to contextualize without giving away too much of the behind-the-scenes magic.
Yes. So there is this bottom line that like I can just end up like again. I was just saying the idea is that I have to translate it a French script, and they're like make it your own, but I could also not and just translate it. You know what I mean? Like it's like a worst case scenario thing I could do.
They're paying for your face, not for your brains.
Yeah,
sweetie pie.
My red blemished.
Maybe that's what they want. A guy who looks like
he's
shit.
dying. Yeah, exactly.
A guy who looks like he took a couple exposed wires to the face.
Yeah, the post electrocution look.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah. Well, electrocution is actually when you die from electricity.
So tell me a funny story about when you were a kid.
What are you talking about?
Something, entertaining about, when you were a kid.
Okay. Another thing that keeps coming back, like the cyclist thing, is like the idea of like I miss having enemies, I don't really have any enemies. But as a kid, you have enemies. You have people you hate with all of your soul,
That's true. That's
like, like there was this girl on my street because I lived in a cul-de-sac, you could see all the houses from all, like, so I don't know, you always knew what everyone was up to because you could see into everyone's homes and shit.
And plus you had your telescope pointing.
And I had my telescope binocular. I had my binoculars attached to my telescope. And that has nothing to do with anything. But because so we had like a group of like kids on the street. We're all like maybe 6 or 7 kids that grew up on the street all at once. Mm-hmm. And there's this one girl whose family rule is that if the light was on for outside, she had to go inside because it was late and it was like 7 p.m. So she could go in for dodo.
I see. Dodo.
For dodo time.
Dodo.
And I don't know. I just remember hating this fucking girl so much and just like being like, "Your light's on, bitch," and just like making her go home.
Why did you hate her so much? She was more pretty than you? Is that what it's
Yeah, she was prettier than me.
What was?
No, she just had. When you're a kid and you just hate a face, and that's all you need is just a face that you hate. Like now you grow to learn to love someone or hate someone based on it doesn't matter what they look like, But when you're a kid, you have nothing except for hunger, happiness, and anger in your body. You have no other emotions.
Yeah, you also like I think that's the way the world is painted, that you're supposed to have enemies, kind of,
Yes, it's true.
Like you just see like any show has a good guy and a bad guy. So you're like, okay, I'm obviously the good guy in any situation.
I'm good.
So where are the bad guys at? Like you're always kind of looking for the bad guys. You're like, because I'm obviously, just like you have that joke. I'm the protagonist here, right, or something like that.
Yes, I'm the protagonist of the universe.
Yep.
But look for the bad guys is what Fred Rogers said on his deathbed.
Who's Fred Rogers?
Mr. Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Because I think his famous line was look for the helpers or whatever.
He's just like he was like a guy who you're just waiting to hear the whole bad side to him.
Oh yeah.
Even though there never really was one, you're just like, what's the
who touched who? You know
exactly. More about the thing is that it's really difficult for me to ever comprehend the idea that someone cares that much about other people, especially strangers.
That's a very good point.
It's really
that's a very good point.
When I was a kid, there was this whole help the disabled program that they put us in and all this whatever. And
the war amps?
Yeah, no, it wasn't war amps. It was like just a program so that they would send half of us to like the Douglas and half of us to like a school for the deaf, and we'd integrate with
right
the peasants or whatever, and the Philistines of the world. And then so there was this. I remember there was this kid.
I went to school with Philip Steen.
So there was this kid, and it wasn't in my grade, but he was like famous amongst like for raising money for disabled kids, especially across the world. And then he raised money for starving kids in Africa and built a well. And he was like 15, and he had like raised like millions of dollars in this fund and started a charity and all this stuff. And like our teachers used to talk about him like he was like the Jesus Christ of
which is blasphemy in the Jewish school.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because they kept on actually calling him he's our Jesus Christ. And then I remember
we're gonna get him. Huh?
I remember thinking, like, who is this kid who's dedicating his childhood? Like, what kind of loser, you know? Like, thank God for him, you know. And like, I still think this idea that, like, obviously, thank God for these people. But the moral of this story is that 3 years later, I read in a paper that he was caught for embezzling half the money and
no way
was sent to jail. So you know who those people are? They're not real. They're fucking fake motherfuckers.
Right.
Mother Teresa was diddling, the lepers or whatever. I'm telling you.
No, she wasn't. But wasn't she a fucking a good old C word? You know.
The thing is, nobody's good. You know, no one's all good. It's impossible. You know.
Except for me.
Except for Hitler, he had it. He had it all. No, there's like even like the Martin Luther King. Like there's tons of talks about how he was like in a room while some woman got raped, and that he had like really bad history with his wife and and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, that sucks, but you can't. Like who cares at a certain point, right?
Okay, that's the stance you're taking.
What are we gonna take away his day? We're gonna just remove his day.
No, dude.
What is that? What you're saying we should do?
No.
Exactly. So I'm saying like you put that shit aside, and you celebrate his day. You know what I mean? So
you separate the artist from his.
I mean, you maybe consider what Mr. King Jr. did as art. I consider it as political, a huge movement in human rights. But you think it's art? That's cool.
It was art. Yeah.
Like that artistic thing he did at Selma. That's that human performance they did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a flash mob of sorts.
Yeah, I guess. It was all a dream. Isn't that him?
Is that what it's about?
That's his quote, isn't it? It's
it is.
Something like that.
Anyway, so you get hit by a car as a pedestrian. No one says pedestrian dies, you know?
Is that where you were going?
No, I don't know, man.
Don't you have another joke about this?
I did. It's the idea of identifying as a cyclist, you know?
Right. No,
a
petty, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where it went. There was the whole idea that I walk a lot. I don't identify as a pedestrian. I don't identify as a pet anything.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how I delivered it.
Which is a good cover up, but I like it's giving the opposite of your life. That's
right. Psycho.
Irony. Give them some irony. That's funny. Yeah, I don't remember any of my jokes, and I think that's probably for the better. Is the truth.
It's for the better.
My early jokes are so bad. Like I remember this one bit that I was trying to get to work, which was about how the metro is the most depressing place in the world,
right?
And how everyone in there just has like a point where everything went wrong. Like you could trace it. Like if you're over 35 and you're taking the metro anywhere, there's a point in your life where things you could have made a better decision,
Which is that's a horrible point.
Yeah,
that's a horrible point.
And that's what everyone's. When everyone's just quiet, staring into nothing, they're all just trying to find that point where everything went wrong. I think that was it, and I think I compared it to an oncology department or something like that. Like those were. I was just
far-fetched.
Everything was so dark. Like it was.
Yeah,
crazy.
I think you were depressed. I think
depressed.
you were going. You were going through some
and
shit.
all my jokes were kind of about that.
Yeah, there's metro stations that go through the richest part of town.
Yeah.
Like there's rich people taking the metro too.
I think with the joke, like one of my favorite jokes, was how I loved how all I was doing was crying and masturbating, and if I wrote a series of novels about my life, they would be called a song of tears and semen. I think that's
right.
That was like. No one's writing shit like this right now.
Book me at the Cellar, folks. Catch me at Joey's haha cunty haha in Indianapolis.
But there was like a good year where I couldn't start a set without saying, "My name is Oren. It's an annoying name. No one ever gets it the first time. They always have to repeat it 5 times. Every time it's like, what's your name? It's Oren. What is it? Oren. Oren." And at this point, I'm really annoyed because I'm not paying her to talk. And I always started with that fucking joke, and I thought I couldn't even do a set without starting. I remember when I'd be home going over my jokes, I'd always still start in my head with that joke, even though I'd said it a million times and it's shit. You know what I mean?
Beat for beat. I mean, I get it, man. Like that's like I said, I'm going through old notes and shit, and like there was a point where like I stopped writing like any sort of thoughts and just started rewriting like complete bits over and over again that I knew worked and just changing one word at a time. You know what I mean? Like just no more original thoughts. Just stick to what works.
It's really hard. Because you get addicted to real laughs, and then you also get really focused on this idea that like you can even make these jokes better and better and better, and you're always convinced you're making them better. And the truth is, I am. Like I have bits that I've been doing forever that like add little tags that become the best part of the fucking joke.
Yeah.
And like, who cares if everyone's sick of hearing them? The audience is new; they haven't heard it 100 times, and you're building the shit.
That's something. That's probably what I regret the most was doing like C or D material at like open mics, especially in other cities, because I was like, I don't know, almost embarrassed to do good jokes at shitty mics. But it's like that's where you do like because you don't know who's there, what comics there that might book you on another show. You do your A shit everywhere in a new city, especially
when you're us, like at this level, like you know.
Yeah, who the fuck cares?
It's not like you have any, you know, there is no reputation, so you're not like risking, you know. But there was just, it's all really dirty. Was like all my stuff. What is another big joke? Another joke I used to always go to was like about how my girlfriend every time we used to have sex, she used to turn off the lights and take a gravel. That was one of my favorite bits.
Dude, I have like zero recollection of what I was doing before. Like I wrote
Jeopardy,
like, the joke about Jeopardy. I forgot about the Jeopardy bit, which I will never do again. Rest in peace, Alex Spark.
So sorry to interrupt you. Are you saying that you're including like your Young Gun set, like and that's like that was Jason's biggest set at the time?
Yeah, it was the first paid weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's the right way to say it.
Yeah, it's the first paid weekend at the big club. Yeah, I guess I remember those. No, those were the first real jokes I wrote. I mean, like the first like year or two of comedy. It's like I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying on stage. I have zero idea.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to go and listen to those fucking recordings, which I will never do.
I have 2 of them on my Google Drive that I randomly came across, and it's also crazy because I'm not full of energy either. I'm talking at this weird kind of like slowish pace, and it's like and I'm so depressing. Like everything I'm saying is so sad.
You're probably doing Louis. That's all you were doing.
I was
probably doing like sad Louis,
but the worst version of it. Like,
of course, the worst version, because that's who was doing comedy back then. Is people who watched Louis and were like, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I get why people hated me so much.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, fuck you.
Yeah, it's
Whose
fucking
team
weird.
Are you on?
It's fucking weird that I even liked you when you started.
Because I'm a nice guy. I got a good heart.
Since comedy's not going to be back for a long time, I'll do the new line I wrote for that Pizza Hut bit I have.
Oh yeah, I love it. Brilliant.
Yeah. I have a bit about Pizza Hut for people who have never seen me do comedy. I have a bit about Pizza Hut and how they're not doing too good these days. You know, like how they used to have money for like an architect to design the Pizza Hut, and so the new line I wrote, because that would be the line, is just like they had architecture money, and I expected a laugh like a fucking idiot.
There's a really good joke there that you might as well share with the audience too. The next joke.
What, the fact that now they share location with Taco Bell, which is like moving in with a roommate to cover rent.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, there's another tag to that I'm forgetting right now, but the point is that like the whole idea of like they had architecture money, like a guy who went to school to maybe he thought one day he would design the next Empire State Building or Leaning Tower of Pisa, but instead he designed the Leaning Tower of Pizza, and it's leaning because it lost a foot to diabetes.
That's great. That's funny.
That's the only thing I've written in 2021.
That's funny.
It's comedy, huh? We're back.
This is what I wrote. I wrote her clit was so big, I think maybe it was a penis. What do you think?
Right. Yeah.
You think that's genius?
Wait. Yeah. I think we've talked about what video that inspired that. It's the WWF wrestler China.
I was gonna find the China virus is actually a huge clit. When you get the China virus,
that's what happened in Wuhan. Is just every woman.
Yeah,
it's quadruple in size.
Tripled in size.
Yeah, just like the Grinch's heart.
Was the Grinch Jewish? We'll never know.
Yeah, definitely. Is that Roald Dahl too?
No.
Okay.
No, the Roald Dahl. It's really funny because I'm just I can't really read much. And there was just like the time when I was in high school when obviously everyone was trying to get me to read. My mom reads a lot. She was trying to get me to read more because she realized I was dumb. And the teachers, they're just trying to encourage you to read. So I picked up all the Roald Dahl books because I read all of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it was like the biggest book I had ever read in my life,
Yeah.
And so I read all of them, and so I felt like, and then my mom was like, maybe you'll start reading other books, and no, I didn't. I just stopped after Roald Dahl died, okay, there's no more books then to read. Right. And then years later, finding out that he pretty much it wasn't the biggest. He didn't hate the Jews, but he just felt like Hitler had a good point. We should have heard him out.
He just agreed.
Yeah, maybe we rushed to conclusions with him, and it just was such a there's a lot of rumors that Disney was whatever, didn't like the Yids, and some and Dr. Seuss. There's rumors that he was a racist, I think, but there's something about just actual reading an actual paper from this guy just my childhood I thought he was the coolest person in the world. No one had a mind like that,
Wasn't he a spy too and some shit? Didn't he have a cool life?
I don't know. He was he's still, to me, he's hilarious, and the BFG was my favorite book in the goddamn world. I just loved that story. And then I turned out all the giants were Jews. It's hilarious. But will tell you, for talking about separating the artist and the man.
And the march, yeah.
I'll read those books to my kids, and I'll read I
terrify a new generation.
yeah. I just don't give a shit personally. I don't know. I think they'd have to step further down the line. I don't know what they would have to kill. He'd have to have killed a Jew, really, for me to stop reading Matilda. I would need at least one dead Jew to not go through the Great Glass Elevator.
Yeah, I think you think the Oompa Loompas were Jews.
No, I just think it just shows how he really felt efficient workforce. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the parts of Hitler that he agreed with.
Exactly. He was just you see, if we ran a chocolate factory like the Third Reich ran the government, we could have a very efficient process.
Yeah.
That's what I think he was trying to say.
And sure, there's casualties,
And I think there's no coincidence that in the movie, Charlie is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy who gets to take over, and everyone else is killed. It's
That's a good point.
There are a few moments where it's highlighting that idea. Yeah, sure, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And the metaphor of him sleeping with his grandparents is just the idea of keeping your lineage close,
Yeah. Did you watch? Remember we were talking about that show Sinner?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you've never seen it. You watched?
No, I have I've seen season 1 and 2.
Season 3 was so bad.
Okay, well, I won't watch it.
It is the worst show. It's crazy to watch a show go so downhill, to lose all bearings of what it was cool about it. It's crazy.
2 was the child, right?
2, I watched the first episode because I was first episode is gonna get me hooked at least, or I'm gonna be curious at least, right? Because the crazy thing happens then.
Yeah.
But instantly I was this doesn't matter. All the things didn't matter right away. They gave me hints of things that didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I hate things today I watched a documentary that you're just dude, I really could have just watched the last episode. Everything was useless up to the last episode.
Oh, did you watch the fucking tower documentary?
Yes,
the water tower? The Cecil Hotel?
Yes.
Piece of shit. Piece of shit documentary. What? Not even a documentary, dude. What is that? What was that thing?
They just left things out and told you them at the end.
Okay, so you know who my dentist was?
Who?
The web sleuth who was I had to ask someone to place their
that's
hand
a creepy
on.
dude.
That's who my dentist was.
That's a creepy dude.
Yes. So go watch. Was it Crime Scene at the Cecil Hotel or some shit on Netflix?
Sure.
And once you get to the web sleuth, who was so pained and like crying when he heard that this fucking girl killed herself.
Because he dedicated his life to a YouTube channel so he can get clicks and pretending to be obsessed with her. And then spouted conspiracy theories for years and years and years.
Actually, fuck, that guy was a dental student.
He was. It's true. That's so true.
Oh, fuck.
That's true. You know what?
okay,
Probably
so
the only reasons we have dentists is because a bunch of autistic people are like, let me see your teeth. let me get closer to those teeth, you know? It's probably the actual opposite. It's not like autistic people they just were born to be dentists. They're just obsessed with teeth.
I think so, man. Train conductors and dentists.
Well, because it's a pretty consistent thing.
Yeah, it is.
So that was the most
piece of shit documentary.
Piece of shit, because literally, this is what's hilarious about it. They have like an interview with a person, right, who is telling you a sentence. They cut it halfway through the sentence, and if they would have let him finish the sentence, you wouldn't have been curious about a fact for 3 episodes, you know?
Right.
So, like, I don't care. A bit of a spoiler. Like, she was found in.
Oh, who gives a shit?
This woman was found inside a water tank on the top of a hotel, and the question is, did she get in by herself or did someone put her there? They make you question the whole time if the lid on the water cooler was on when she was found or off, which is the only variable. And then it turns out that it was off. It was found
the whole time.
And it was off. And literally, they show a little interview with the guy who knows, the guy who found the body, and he just doesn't mention if it was off or on. Then they make you question.
And then he was like, at the end, they were like, yeah, and it was off.
Yeah, and he goes, when you found the body, where was the manhole? He's like, it was off. And you're like, fuck you guys.
And also, forgot to mention that she was off her antipsychotic meds and all this shit, and it's like that's why she was maybe acting weird in the.
Or
why was the elevator door not closing? Because she clicked door open, which left the elevator door open for 2 minutes.
Why was the video slowed down and cut up? Because that's what the cops did. Like, the whole point was the cops did. Like, it's hilarious because all these people are freaking out online, acting like they're helping.
All the YouTube fucking detectives were like, "It's an inside job. The police department did it."
And the
Why would
cops
you
are
want to
sitting there
kill a
going like-
fucking 22-year-old Vancouver lady? From whatever.
It's so ridiculous. I was so mad at it the whole time.
Yeah, piece of shit.
And they also could, like, at the end, they're like, yeah, and the sister said that when she used to go through her fits, she used to hide in places, in very closed, tight places. And I'm like, oh, you know.
Oh,
you know,
maybe mention that.
Guys, it's like so fucked up. And they're going through all this fucking history about the goddamn stupid hotel for no reason.
Yeah, sure, the hotel's creepy.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
You know what? I would have watched a documentary on the hotel and all the murders that happened there. Sure. On all the, the people who would, like, because it's a hotel that was also like a low income housing place. Like, homeless people would stay there for like $4 a night or whatever and just shoot heroin,
Yeah, I want to see like a Wire style show that takes place in the Cecil Hotel.
Sure.
That's sick.
Yeah. That'd be cool, but nice burp, baby.
Dude, I'm interviewing these new interns. They're like 18 years old. They're so young, and I'm like talking the whole time. I'm like, burping the whole time, and they're like sharing video in the interview, and I'm like, I'm not sharing fucking. What are you talking about? I'm not sharing video,
Oh, you don't put on video for calls like that?
Not for the first interview. It's a phone call first, Like, I don't need to show. And plus, I'm a fucking wreck. I look like I'm fucking in my hoodie. I'm like sitting there for hours. It's the end. It was like the end.
You're
of the day.
freezing because you're in a closet.
Dude,
you're in your apartment's mudroom.
Feel a breeze come at me. Like, it's crazy. At some points of the day, I just feel a breeze hit my face. I'm like, this is not. This cannot last.
Not insulated.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
What am I gonna do?
I mean, it's not great.
One day, I'll move one day. I'm just like, the home buying is annoying.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's. I would be very frustrated if I were you, because I feel like from like May of last year to now, I feel like the houses or whatever that you're looking at have probably gone up $100,000 in price.
I know, and people were like, "You should wait a year or two before buying." And it's like,
no, dude. What I'm looking at now will be $1 million in a year or two.
So
what are you talking about?
That's what it doesn't like. It's a real struggle to spend a certain amount on a certain thing when like you were raised in the idea that this would buy
as
you a
Jew.
mansion. No, but you know what I mean? Like it's
okay,
just like this kind of budget was supposed to, like, if I had this, if I was in this position, if I knew I'd
If
be
someone-
in this position when I was a kid, I would think I'd be like
a millionaire.
yeah, or like living in a nice house in the middle, like in the city, you know, in NDG or something. Like it's just so crazy.
Yeah, but now you're looking at places where you don't feel a breeze when you're working.
That's all. That's like my minimum right now.
Yeah. Just a finished wall.
Yeah, and parking. I just had to. They like now they have decided that the streets are so narrow that they're going to clean both sides at the same time. So there's no parking anywhere. It's for anybody. So I had to message my buddy who actually has a few parking spots in his area, but he hasn't moved his car or anything in like a month. So there's so much snow piled up in his area that I had to go shovel out his entire driveway just so I could park in it.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's so fucking
That's free labor for him, man. He's doing it well.
I know. Smart. And he's like, you have to move by 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, great. Really glad. Really glad.
I thought I was gonna relate to you because we used to we let our dog piss on the top deck a couple times, you know, because it's winter time. You don't want to walk at -20. But now there's so much fucking snow that I had to go skating a couple weeks ago. I had put my skates in storage. We had like a couple bins outside on the deck, so I had to pour for 45 minutes. We poured hot water. Just reaching our hand as much we can only open the door like a handful, and I reached my hand across and I would pour hot water on the outside of the door for an hour just to be able to open the door to get my fucking skates. That was 2 weeks ago, and now it's just completely covered again. I think we got like 2 feet of snow in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's insane. I had to shovel it out of my spot and then shovel his driveway to get my car into there, and. I'm going to have to move it again in the morning. It's so fucking annoying. So all I really care about right now is a little bit of packing, you know? Give me some
a little bit of what?
Parking.
Packing.
Yeah, give me some parking in my life because I'd love to not have to deal with this out of fucking nowhere. Because we're just cooking dinner and I was like, I think I'm okay. And then I hear those sirens go off.
Yes, if you don't know, just go look up. If you're not from the city, if you're not from Montreal, go look up. I don't know why we're famous for this. There's YouTube videos with millions of views of Montreal snow clearing operations. If you want to have a good idea of what we have to go through, it's
pretty crazy.
People are infatuated with it.
They run over the sidewalk and destroy the trees while they're doing it. It's hilarious. They don't give a shit.
I'm lucky I'm on a pretty wide one way, but it's fucking today they did it on one side and tomorrow's the other side. But dude, it's 2:00 in the afternoon and it's everyone is in their cars waiting for the snowplows to pass to park on the other side of the street. Everyone's home. People are hanging out with coffees outside, talking to neighbors, just waiting for the plow to fucking go.
For us, we can't do it because there's parking on both sides. It's no parking on both sides. I would so do that otherwise, you know. Right now, I feel like that. If I hear them clear the snow, it doesn't matter what time of night it is. I'm gonna go grab my car and move it. You know, I'd be so proud of myself. I fucking sometimes, dude, when I get great parking, I will just go outside. I'll go into my living room, look out my window, and just stare at my great parking spot, and just bathe in it, you know, and be like, "Fuck yeah, that's parking," you know. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's the way you do it.
Guys, if you want to laugh,
money for nothing and your chicks for free.
Listeners, if you want to laugh at something, not because it's funny on purpose, Jason and I were on this show, this little YouTube thing called Battle of Wits. It's like a trivia show. I tried to hook up our fancy Zoom recorder to the computer in order to have better audio quality. And it in turn sped my voice up.
And not only that, dude, but my girlfriend and I listened to a minute of it, and we somehow got to this part where I don't know why, but your voice sped up brings back your speech impediment.
It's so strange.
It was fucking amazing. You're like, well, the number one natural resource of Michigan was
natural resource.
Natural resource.
Dude, it actually affected me when you played that clip. Because I don't know if you get it. In my head, I still can't pronounce my R's. I don't hear them. I think I'm still fucking them up, and everyone's been lying to me ever since. Just been
say natural resource.
Natural resource.
Okay, well, say it normal, not like a fucking announcer.
Natural resource.
You're fine. But sped up, you sound like you got hit in the head at the chocolate factory.
Yeah.
You sound like you came back with a horrible injury.
Yeah, I sound like the kid from Big Daddy. It's not.
Yeah. Yes. I want to be called Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly. But sped up, it's even worse. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
It's some crazy shit. It's very funny.
And just for some inside baseball here, I realized that this was happening minute 1 of the recording and did not say a single thing until minute 50 of the recording.
Literally right before we said goodbye, he just goes, by the way, are you hearing Oren's voice a little sped up? And I think there must be a very funny moment in it, because there was one part in the thing where I was just doing a high voice coincidentally. I was going, I don't think so. Like that, and it must break the sound barrier or something like that. I don't know.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the
crazy.
fucking best.
Yes.
Yeah, go check it out. It was pretty fun.
I doubted you could listen to the whole thing because on my voice,
no.
I can't believe she even published it. Like, how did she not just be like, this is ridiculous?
Let's do another one.
Too funny. I can't believe she put it out. Whatever. I hope it was funny. I hope she doesn't hate me because I fucked her up for recording.
Yes.
Because that must be annoying.
Yeah, a little bit, but
she's gonna go down in numbers a little this week. She got I mean, we were the biggest. Like, she's not gonna get a big
now
stars
she's
like
got
us. Who knows who's next? But
I mean, I know who's next.
Who's next?
Someone with Trana.
Trana doesn't have the following we have. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Plus, we have the whole.
She just has a podcast on the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
We have the whole LGBTQ community behind us, so I don't think she's got I don't think she's got the same pull as we do, the same draw,
No. We have this thing where we forget to put the video up on YouTube for a week. And just watch the audio numbers roll in.
Dude, we got 8 views this week on the fucking video.
Oh god.
Watch me care more. What are the how are, don't you have to give the actual numbers, but how are the downloads? I didn't check.
They're normal.
Okay, so
Yeah. No, YouTube is dead for us. No, I don't know what we've done, but I think I think the algorithm has caught on to certain patterns of our speech and does not like what we're putting out there.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just suck. It almost feels useless to be putting it up.
Almost does, but keep doing it.
God damn you. Okay, boss. You got it, boss.
Hey, no problem. Hey, keep the teeth.
Let us know. Comment on the YouTube video if you're watching here and say yeah, I'm watching.
I like it.
Be like, hey, I'm here.
Just one guy who doesn't know about audio podcasts.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a Spotify.
If you're jerking off to my lovely voice, if you're hard and wet,
that's what it is.
Yeah, because we promise a hard and wet time to our lovers, and however they want to get hard and wet, I want to be able to give it to them.
What do you mean by that? What the fuck are you talking about?
Jason's like, in my experience, it doesn't have to be hard or wet.
No.
In order to get the thing done.
Flaccid and dry.
Yeah. Just place it in.
Like trying to stick a worm back into a wormhole after the sun has taken to it.
Yeah, that's it. You just gotta get, you gotta nestle in.
What happened to worms, huh?
Yeah,
you never see them anymore.
I guess
I'm just not as low to the ground as I was historically as a young child.
I guess all the birds got alarm clocks or something, eh?
Hey, I guess all those birds are early. Capitalism, you know what I mean?
Did you have a favorite joke as a kid? Besides, my parents love me.
Well, yeah, your parents. I probably like your mom's joke. Your mama.
Yeah. Well, give me a good old fat. There was this thing called web crawler. It was before Google, web crawler, and I remember going to web crawler and writing "Yo Mama" jokes and just trying to get as many as I could.
Just to memorize them? No, I don't have a memory for it, dude. Your mom jokes. I'm gonna Google. Yo Mama jokes. LaughFactory.com. Wait, is that the Laugh Factory? No way, the Laugh Factory, like the actual fucking club in LA.
Your mama is so fat she lives in 2 different time zones. I remember that, and I remember not getting it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't get that one. No, I probably got. I don't know. I was probably a little smarter than you, but the one I didn't get was when your mom sits around the house. She sits around the house,
dude.
It took me years to figure that shit out.
Yeah, our boys.
Like the geometry.
Our boys just talked about that joke. Do you know that?
Oh right, it's true.
Yeah,
that's why it's in my head. But your mom's so fat, she got on the scale, and the scale said, "I need your weight, not your phone number."
Yes,
that's from the Laugh Factory website.
That I remember.
I mean, those were all fun, you know. Those were fun ones.
I remember the woman jokes and the wife jokes, thinking that those were funny.
The blonde. Oh, a blonde joke I remember.
Yeah, give it to me.
What did the blonde woman say after her wedding night with her blonde husband? My belly button's sore.
Oh.
You see, the joke is the husband's fucking an idiot. He's a fucking idiot who fucked the belly button as opposed to the good old the pussy hole.
I was gonna say, what do you say? Heil Hitler? Is that what you said? Two blondes? No.
Two blondes, yeah. Two blondes don't make a right.
Two Utes. I remember. What does wife stand for? Washing, ironing, fucking, etc. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, that's like a
So
what's
dumb.
Fiat stand for? Fix it again, Donny. You know.
Yeah.
That's one of those.
And then I remember there was a good. I remember I liked what do you call an invisible insert ethnicity here,
Right.
and it was a fart. That's funny.
Classic.
That's funny. You know, that's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny. Okay. And your mama.
Your mom's so stupid. She put 2 quarters in her ears and thought she was listening to 50 Cent. That is just classic.
That's not
That
even
you
a
know
joke.
was written in the 2000s.
It's not even a-
You know that's not pre 1999. You know what I mean?
Oh, here's one they used
That's
to
what I
laugh.
like about.
These make me laugh. Your mama's so fat she breaks through the wall and goes, "Oh yeah."
That's just someone who watched a Family Guy episode in 2003.
I think that's pre. I think Family Guy was like, "This is funny because I've heard the joke." Because I don't want to give that guy that much credit. He does voices. He's not as funny as Family Guy is. There's no, that's a fact.
What, Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah.
You know, like he's too showy. Huh?
Dude, he had a joke that could never get away with now in Ted, in one of the Teds, which kind of made me laugh, where he was like, where Ted was like, they're chicks with dicks. And he's like, there are no chicks with dicks, only guys with tits. Which made me laugh.
You cannot say that anymore.
No, and I just did, but I didn't. I was quoting a goddamn movie from the 90s.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I like how you refer to Ted like that. Remember that I told you that guy who like refers to Costanza as a guy he knows almost, you know? Yeah. Dude, Ted said the most fucked up shit I've ever heard in my life. All right, you can't fucking say this shit in 2021. That's for sure.
Yeah. We live in a society.
Yeah, we do. I really am enjoying the fact that LaughFactory.com has a place to submit jokes, and people can vote on them.
I definitely did buy a 1,000 best jokes book from Scholastic when I was 34.
Yeah?
Before I started comedy. No, when I was a kid
Right.
in the Scholastics fair. I think I bought it. I mean, it takes like 4 years to get it after you order it on those paper flyers, but eventually I got it. And I remember it had a picture of a shark with headphones on it, which is hilarious. But the joke that went with that picture was what do you say when a man-eating shark wearing headphones listening to music comes at you? Anything you want, he's listening to headphones, he won't hear you. That was and I was
so
like,
it's an anti joke.
and that was what the whole book was based on. That, like, that's what they went for the cover.
That's the seller.
Dude, we could write a fucking joke book if that's, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. I never really bought joke books. I bought what I liked was Far Side. That was my shit.
Yeah, I owned a couple of Far Side books.
Far Side. I got the whole collection now. I love it.
I remember just the one with the whatever is like Milton School for the Gifted, and he's pushing on the pull door. That one, 'cause that's like just how you like just the simplest drawing and how fucking funny it could be. Just that
barely
just
any
the
text
head down pushing with all the might, like with no other concept of an idea of how this might work for them. You know?
So good.
It's so
my favorite. Just to go over it, my favorite is it's a classroom.
Yeah,
and there's a projector and there's a picture of a cow. And there's an arrow pointing to the cow, and above the arrow it says cow. Yeah. And then there's one hand up, and the teacher's like, I see we have a question in the back.
yeah. So good.
That's perfect.
Gary Larson must have been a snarky motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like a real quick-witted, annoying, like just thought everyone was an idiot, I feel like.
And he's right. He's the best.
Yeah. There was also Bizarro. You ever read that one? That was
No.
a cheap knockoff, probably kind of.
No, never read.
There was one that made me laugh. Like I pinned it to my locker in high school, and I always thought it was so funny. It was just like, it was like a guy in a eye doctor's office, and he's like poking on a doctor's shoulder, and he's like, "Eye doctor," and the doctor goes, "What a coincidence! Eye doctor too." I don't know why I made me laugh so hard.
Nah, dude. You can't say that shit on the fucking podcast, dude. Come on.
What a coincidence. Eye doctor too.
Goddamn.
And on that note. On
that note, don't fucking watch The Haunting at the Cecil Hotel, where the fuck that was. Don't watch that shit.
Yeah, she's just bipolar and killed herself.
She's bipolar, probably went off her meds, went in a tank, and then a water tank, and then died.
Yeah, the worst. One of the worst documentaries in the world. The next one I'm very excited to watch is the Woody Allen one that's coming out on HBO.
Oh yeah, is that happening?
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing I'm looking forward to is Nate Bargatze's new hour, which I feel like he's the only guy to have who's performed comedy in the last year for some reason.
Sam Morril, maybe.
Sam Morril, yeah, Rooftops. That's another good one. I don't know if Bargatze's is like a car show or something, or like extremely spaced out, or if everyone in the audience just died or.
Yeah, exactly. He's just in that part of America where nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
he probably just did it after Chappelle finished.
Yeah,
Chappelle's rubbing in everyone's face how much more millions of dollars they gave him for his show. He's like, they gave me even more money. I'm like, good for you, man.
I get Bargatze because like he doesn't have a show with royalties. He doesn't have like any like that's all he has is like he's got a huge following who will go see him no matter the circumstances. But I get the reasoning why he would have to do live shows.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Chappelle doing stand up with like COVID people and like also having millions of dollars rolling in is like, just take a seat, dude. Just sit it out for a bit.
Yeah, well, he's just like you and me, hanging out with Elon Musk and living the normal life. But they're
and Grimes.
Pretty cool.
Was she there? Is she allowed to leave the house?
I don't know how the algorithm works. Maybe.
He put her in some sort of like mind maze.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Plugged her into the Matrix, and
we're all in Elon Musk's Matrix. That wouldn't surprise me. That's why his hair looks so real to us. Because we're in his Matrix.
And on that note,
Shabbat Shalom.
Motherfuckers.
The best to you all. If we don't make it to next week, if anything...
We will make it. But thank you for listening to this episode after a real stinker of an episode last week.
I hope this one was a bit better.
I think it was better. I think I felt more on, if anything. And I felt like you were a moron, if anything, huh? More of that next week on Friendship Hour Podcast. Goodbye. Available on everywhere.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Friendship Hour.